In today's video, we are diving into a topic that a lot of postpartum moms experience and think about, but don't often talk about it: pelvic floor health. We will be discussing differences between pelvic floor weakness and pelvic floor tightness so you can have a better understanding of what is happening to your body after childbirth, and better yet, have an understanding of how you can start healing your pelvic floor muscles and what exercises you should focus on so you can have a faster postpartum recovery. Hi mamas, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm so glad you'll be joining me in this video today. You are about to feel stronger, more comfortable, and more confident in your postpartum recovery journey. Now, before we dive into pelvic floor weakness or tightness, let's understand why pelvic floor health is so important. Think about your pelvic floor muscles as the foundation of your body. They play a really important role in providing support to your bladder, bowel, uterus. They also support your core muscles, helping you feel balanced, provide stability, and it also prevents accidental leaking or even back pain. So pelvic floor muscles are really important and are foundations for your body's daily functioning. You want to walk, you want to carry your little one, you want to push a stroller, everything comes down to the integrity and health of your pelvic floor muscles. So now during the 9 months of pregnancy, because of your growing abdomen, there is a lot of weight of the baby that gets pushed down on those pelvic floor muscles. So your pelvic floor muscles is like a hammock, but because of the weight of the baby, your pelvic floor muscles would start sinking in and starts getting pulled apart or stretched. This makes them weaker. And now during delivery, you push the baby out through the pelvis, which causes separation, further weakness in your pelvic floor muscles. So after childbirth, your pelvic floor muscles have lost their integrity and strength to support the other vital organs, which can then lead to symptoms like accidental leaking, back pain, discomfort, feeling of heaviness. So now that you know why pelvic floor health is important, let's dive individually into pelvic floor weakness and tightness so you can understand which of the two, or it might be a combination of both, that you are feeling. Let's start with talking about pelvic floor weakness. When we say weakness, it means that the pelvic floor muscles have been stretched or they have lost the strength and they're not able to support or perform the functions as they were able to before pregnancy. What this might look like is maybe you might notice a little leak when you try to laugh or squeeze, or there might be a constant feeling of heaviness in the pelvic area, feeling like something is about to fall out. That is a sign of pelvic floor weakness. Pelvic floor weakness mainly happens due to the weight of the baby and hormonal changes, which causes the muscles to get stretched out beyond their normal capacity, so they start losing strength. One of the common real-life examples would be you're trying to chase your toddler or playing with them on a trampoline, and you might notice accidental leaking, or you might feel like you're not able to control as you used to, and that is a feeling or sign of pelvic floor weakness. And this is so much more common than you would think. I know of a lot of moms who feel embarrassed when something like this happens, but trust me, there are a lot more moms having and feeling the same thing as you do, and there is nothing you should be embarrassed about. There are exercises that you can start focusing on that will not only improve your pelvic floor function, but also help you regain strength and feel more confident. So if any of these signs or symptoms rang a bell and you were nodding yes, that means you have pelvic floor weakness. What you want to start focusing on is developing not only pelvic floor strength but also on core strength. As pelvic floor muscles work in connection with the core muscles, it is important to start focusing on strengthening exercises like bridges, pelvic tilts, marches, which are important to not only activate your pelvic floor muscles, but it also activates your core muscles. So when you are trying to do activities like chasing your toddler, pushing a stroller, going for a walk, these muscles would work in conjunction and help you support your body from inside. So often you would have heard about start doing Kegels, where you squeeze the pelvic floor muscles, hold for so many seconds and relax. While Kegels is an exercise you could do, it is not enough. Doing just Kegels is not supporting and helping recover that pelvic floor strength. So it is really important to do the exercises that are supporting your pelvic floor but also your core strength and hip muscle strength. So think more about a holistic strengthening picture where you are including other muscles rather than just focusing on pelvic floor muscles. Next, let's now talk about pelvic floor tightness. Now, pelvic floor tightness is quite the opposite of weakness. In this case, your pelvic floor muscles might be strong enough, but they're not able to properly perform the functions. And that is because they are super tense and are not able to relax fully. This could look like you are having trouble passing bowels or even having difficulty passing gas. You have to push too hard. Maybe you are feeling constant tension in the pelvic area. When you're trying to bend down or lift your little one from the floor, there is some discomfort you constantly notice. Maybe just sitting down in a chair feels uncomfortable. You might constantly feel pain in the pelvic area, especially during sex. It feels uncomfortable. All these are signs that you have pelvic floor tightness. Now, there are a few different reasons you can have pelvic floor tightness. The most common is due to poor posture. During the 9 months of pregnancy and during the early phases of postpartum, you'll notice that there is a lot of postural compensation you would be doing. Your pelvis is usually not straight. You'll notice a tilt. You'll be hunched over a lot of times. You would not be standing up straight. You'll shift the weight on one hip. Due to all those things, your muscles are getting compensated and that affects your posture, ultimately causing your pelvic floor muscles to tighten up. Sometimes it can also be stress related. You would notice yourself clenching the glutes a lot. When you clench your butt or the glute muscles, you are also tightening up the pelvic floor in the posterior or the back half of your pelvic floor muscle. So the back muscles get super tight every time you clench your glutes. So stress could also be contributing to that tightness. So if you have noticed any of the symptoms of pelvic floor tightness, like having difficulty passing bowel or gas, or just discomfort with regular movements, feeling of tension in the pelvic area, you definitely want to stay away from Kegels. Any exercises that further has you contract the pelvic floor muscles is just going to make it worse for you. You want to focus more on relaxation exercises, deep breathing exercises. Maybe sit down or lay down and put one hand on the belly and try to feel the air expanding in the belly. That's going to help you relax your pelvic floor muscles. You want to focus on gentle stretches like a butterfly stretch or child's pose stretch that would help open up the pelvic area and relax those muscles. The key with pelvic floor tightness is doing more of relaxation work. You do not want to further activate the muscles, but you want to focus on relaxing your pelvic floor muscles. So how do you know if you have pelvic floor weakness or tightness? One of the ways to do it is being really mindful about the symptoms. Understanding what you are feeling will help you know if you have weakness or tightness. And it doesn't have to be either or. It could be a combination of weakness and tightness. As we talked about earlier, tightness is usually seen in the back half of the posterior muscles closer to your glutes, versus weakness might be more in the front of the pelvic floor area. So you could have both weakness and tightness, or it could be just one. Being really mindful and knowing what signs you have is a key and first step to pelvic floor recovery. But the best option is to consult a pelvic floor physical therapist who can not only help you understand your signs, but also create a personalized exercise program and guide you through the exercises so you can start feeling stronger in no time. I would love to help support you and create an exercise plan that works for you. So make sure to check the link in the description below to book your one-on-one physical therapy session with me. And the best part is we get to do it online. You do not have to leave your home for this. So make sure to go ahead and book your appointment so we can create a customized plan that works for you. I understand postpartum recovery can be overwhelming, but I want you to know you are not alone. Understanding the difference between pelvic floor weakness and tightness is your first step to pelvic floor healing and recovery. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so you will always be updated with new tips and resources I share for having a faster postpartum recovery. And if you could hit the like button if this video helped you, would mean a world to me. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, mamas.